Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a hot one in the shop again, and making pretty good progress, but I'm not sure how we are, if we're going to make it out this year for some hill climbs, but hopefully we do. Hopefully we can get at least 2 in. I'd really like more than that, but it's budget and time oriented. This whole deal. It's not a professional race team in terms of it's all we do. It's all I do outside of work. But that's how these things work. So anyway, I'm going to show you around the car a little bit, show you what I've gotten done. Okay, so what I got going on is I spent a good bit of time on this shifter here. Basically, what is going to go on for this is this will mount here, and then I have a clevis coming in the mail that will go over the ball joint, and that'll just move back and forth with the shifter cable. I have the proper throw and everything for the shifter cable to match the transmission's throw, so that should be good, knock on wood. As far as this side goes, I found this old wing slider, and it gave me an idea. I think I'm going to run with it. It already has a time joint on it that's welded to it goes into a bung that's welded to this deal here. This also goes over the spud that I got for this piece at Tractor Supply, and it has the same diameter, ironically, as the mount on this. However, I don't think I'm going to be using this. This is too flimsy, and there's a bunch of reasons why I should not use it. I might adapt it in some way, but just not as it is. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll take this rod and I'll shorten it up to whatever length I need to have the correct amount of throw. So I'll need 2 inches from this way to this way in throw. So however long this has to be to get there is what I'll chop off. Anyway, I will put the pivot point somewhere down here probably. And I have a slug that will go in there as a bushing, and then that's what the whole apparatus will pivot on. I don't think this is going to work out as far as this, but it just gave me a good idea of how things were going to work, so that's why it is that way right now. On the electrical panel, I notched this out so that I can have these 2 guys coming through here. The reason why I did that is I have the battery shut-off switch, or the kill switch, for the whole car right here. So I'm going to have a nicer little cable than this wire tie, or this safety wire, but it's just what I have right now. Anyway, it's on, it's off, on, but anyway, I could fix it, or I think I could reach it from the driver's seat. If I can, I'll just put some sort of pull string that can get in here, but it's mainly for like the corner workers, track workers, so on and so forth, to shut this off in case there's an emergency, which basically will kill the electric fuel pump and also any other accessories on the car. So the other things I got going on are I wired up the fuel pump, and that's all mounted and wired. I got a Deutsche connector on there. This will go down here. So basically on the fuel pump itself, there's a power and there's a ground, and that's it. This one I could run to the chassis anywhere I want. What I chose to do is bundle them into this little harness here. It's just a piece of scrap, sorry. Put it into this little harness here, put my Deutsche connector on there, What I'll do is I'll have the Deutsch connector coming from the solid state relay, or excuse me, I'll have the wire, the hot wire, the orange one, running from the solid state relay, which is this, and then this will come back through here, and then there will be a ground right here. Those two wires will merge. They'll come up here, and they will plug into this guy. So that's how that's going to work. Certainly just a temporary deal, but this is what I got. So the way I figure it is, this first one is a what you call a momentary switch. So that'll be our starter. Red will be our ignition. Blue will be our water pump. Orange will be our fan. And then this will be a spare. So this is both a momentary and an on-off. So I figured that would be a good idea to have as a spare. I think you can make it work in a couple ways. So anyway, and plus it was the only one that I had that wasn't a duplicate color. So, you know, it made sense. Anyway, this will probably mount somewhere up here. And then they will all have a common ground, which will probably tie into the engine or the chassis somehow down here. And then the hot wires will go on here, this second row. Then these three inputs up here will be able to activate the accessories via the ECU. So I'll have two different ways of activating the fan, the water cooler, and the fuel pump. Actually, the fuel pump won't have a switch. So, but anyway, there's no need for me to have that. Anyway, moving on. See, I got the harness all nice and buttoned up. Looks good, I think. This all came out pretty well. I think some things might have to be moved down the road, but we'll see. Alright. Made this little gap filler. Oh my gosh. I just watched a Lambo drive by. It's pretty badass. I don't say that about exotic cars too much, but that one's nice. Anyway, this little filler panel here didn't have to be too much. So I actually had an old crashed wing from that car. And I took part of that wing, cut it down, and then drilled these holes, formed it around here a little bit, and then put some hose clamps on there, and she ain't going nowhere. So the other thing, I notched it around this, and I also cut the excess part of this spud off, and I just shortened up the bolt, and we're good to go on that. So I ordered front wheels. Front wheels are on their way. Well, they're at least being made. So we'll get those on here pretty soon. Rear wheels, I think I'm just going to order wheel halves just to get us by for a little while. Anyway, moving on. Keep on saying anyway. Sorry about that. I say a lot of things multiple times, and I apologize. But bear with me. Anyway, here we go again. I got this sucker here, and I got to shorten it all up to the length it needed to be. Got these guys about, they're ready to go on here. I'm not going to weld this up because it needs to be watertight, and so that probably would require some TIG welding. The other thing is about this is that I need to have the ability to shorten up the pickup. So I got to figure that out. My buddy Anthony, he has an old engine block that we can bolt this to, and probably figure all that out pretty easily. Plus he's got the welder over there, so I think it'll probably be a good idea for me to bring it there instead of any other alternatives. I got these. These are steel AN bungs. They will weld right into there. Got tired of dealing with the other deal. I know they sell them like that, but I didn't buy it that way, so I'm an idiot. Moving on. This guy right here is getting whacked off, and then we're putting two 12 AN bungs on there. I think running out of things to tell you guys about. Front wheels are on their way. Told you so that. Rear wheels on the way. Told you that. Got this guy. Oh yeah. So I got myself a bead roller for these guys. Bead rolled a couple of beads into these guys, and now they're ready to go. I didn't cinch them up because I'm going to take this thing off and we're going to weld those bungs on. But yeah, she's coming along. Another thing, clean these up. These are all ready to have another bar put in, or excuse me, a drive shaft loop put in. So I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to put a bung here and a bung here so I can remove that drive shaft loop. That car has it and I loved it, so I want to put it on this. And then I think I'm going to put another bar here, and right basically where this stands bar is, basically maybe a little bit further forward, but I'm going to put a bar there, and then I'm going to have another drive shaft loop going over that, and that should be sufficient as far as driveline protection. So I think that's it, everybody. Got some parts on order. Got some odds and ends I'm taking care of. I'll keep you guys up to speed. Talk to you guys later.